I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I am your host, Jim Beaver, and when I tell you we got a show that's all killer, no filler today, I absolutely mean it. 6 guests, 2 hours. We're going to be rocking and rolling with some of the best action motorsports interviews anywhere. I don't know where you're getting this stuff at, but it's definitely nowhere but here. Guest list today, David Higgins, Nick Roberts, both calling in from DirtFish Rally School. That is coming up right now here in just a minute or two. They are I guess teammates. I don't know how we put it, but both running DirtFish branding at Oregon Trail Rally presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts this coming up weekend. So we're definitely going to get to Nick and David. Also got Brenten Kelly, who's running the DirtFish banner at Oregon Trail Rally as well. Then we're going to get into Joni Wiman. I ended up recording an interview with him last week at GRC Media Day, which we'll also be talking about. We got my Rigid Industries teammate, Ashley Kidd. I caught up with her at the World Wake Surfing Championship round in Parker, Arizona this past weekend. So we're going to have Ashley on air. And then to cap things off, if 5 guests wasn't enough, Miss Ami Houde, she's back hanging out for the last 30 minutes of the show, talking Supercross and whatever Amy wants to talk about. So great show today, and couldn't happen without our great partners, obviously Polaris RZR, General Tire, Rigid Industries, DirtFish Rally School, KMC Wheels, Gibson Exhaust, and as always, our audio is provided by MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Those of you tuning in, you want to chat with me, you got some questions for our guest, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. That's the way you're going to get a hold of me while we're live on air. Got a few pre-recorded interviews today, but a lot of them are going to be live, so definitely shoot me those questions, man. I would love to get them for David Higgins, Nick Roberts, also for Ami Houde. So if you want to talk some Supercross, some rally, some Oregon Trail Rally presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, you let me know, and I will get those questions asked. Definitely a big show on tap, and I got to tell you, rolling into next week, we've got an even bigger one, hopefully. But next week will be a Tuesday show, getting that primer in because I'll be at Oregon Trail Rally, flying home on Monday. So expect some more rally talk also this coming up weekend, man. We've got Torque, Lucas, World Rally Championship. I mean, it's NORA 1000. I mean, it's gas on, game on this next weekend. Also Supercross. I'm just losing track of. There's so many events going on this next upcoming weekend. But, yeah, packed show today. 6 guests, 2 hours. I don't know if we've ever done that before. It's definitely got to be up there with one of our records. So pretty stoked on it. And I got to tell you, man, the past week I was bouncing all over the place. I was in Los Angeles at Long Beach. I've been in Prescott, Arizona. I've been at the Wake Surf World Championship round. It's been a lot of fun. I got to tell you, and it's going to reflect in this show because the diversity of our guests today, just crazy. And a lot of you going, whoa, Ashley Kidd, World Wake Surfing, what's this? Hey, man, you guys listen to me for the past 3.5 years. I'm a wakeboarder. I love the water. And, when one of my Rigid Industries teammates is in town, we're definitely going to interview her. So, hang tight because it's a great interview. And I got to tell you, there is an off-road tie in there. So definitely an off-road tie-in in her family that we mentioned in the interview. So you definitely want to hang tight for that. We're going to kick off hour number 2 with Ashley Kidd. But this, the run of the show, I guess, for the first hour presented by DirtFish Rally. DirtFish sponsoring this first half of the show. We got David Higgins and Nick Roberts calling in just a few minutes. And then second half, hour number 1, it'll be Brenten Kelly and then Joni Wiman. And I got to tell you, we're calling him Joni again this weekend, or this year, not this weekend. Finally going back to Joni. In the interview, it's pretty interesting. But he says when you win the GRC championship, he says I can be called whatever I want. We're going back to Joni this year. It's no longer Johnny, and I got to tell you, I love it. This kid definitely coming into his own, both on the track and, on the mic. And, he's got a little swagger in his step, and you got to love it, When you won back-to-back GRC championships, lights, and then turn around and, and win the Supercar championship, you deserve to have a little swagger in your step, that's for sure, And, looking forward to airing that interview for you. But right now, I think we've got David Higgins and Nick Roberts on the line. Are you guys there?
Morning. Yes, we're here.
Well, I got to tell you guys, you guys are up there at DirtFish Rally getting ready for some Oregon Trail Rally. What's on tap for you guys this week?
Well, I got all sorts of things. I think I'm just excited. I've been looking forward to today to spend some time with David and kind of try to figure out. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I don't even know I don't know them. So I'm just kind of excited to figure out what they are and just continue progressing.
Yeah, well, in David, I mean, you've got a tie-in with DirtFish for for the past couple of years. I know, obviously, last year you ran a GRC car at the DirtFish round with some DirtFish branding on it, but I believe they're back involved with you for this year too, correct?
Yeah, that's right. What we're trying to do is, obviously, with my involvement with my school in the UK, we're trying to see if we can, capitalise as much on what we teach in the UK and my experience that I've got from running my school and how to coach and everything else, and to try and see if we can pass some of that over into the USA. So a lot of the things that are done are very, very similar, but there's other things that are quite different, really. So the idea is to try and bridge that gap and work with DirtFish. And obviously it's great to be here with some young rising stars from America as well, and to try and put it to practice with Nick as well.
Yeah. Well, Nick, I mean, this has got to be huge for you. I mean, obviously, we know you can take podiums, overall podiums in Rally America, but, to be there at DirtFish and have, I don't want to say David at your disposal, but to be able to learn against, from one of the best, I mean, one of the best in the world, I mean, that's pretty exciting for you.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm still pinching myself. I mean, I'm here at DirtFish, which is the first time I've ever been here, and the place is absolutely beautiful. And I'm just excited to get out there and just tear the place up. And I'm lucky enough to be here with David, who's just got so much experience and so much skill, being six-time Rally America champion. I can't believe I've got the opportunity, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, and I know I'd mentioned it on the show before, but, talk a little bit about your relationship, because I know both of you running, obviously David, we know he just mentioned his DirtFish tie-in, but you running the DirtFish banner as well this year.
Yep, that's correct. So it's been excited. I've been excited to be able to have them kind of jump on board with our program, and as we see our program kind of continue to progress and grow, it's just it's another awesome name to be able to have on the car.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and David, talk a little bit about this, this 2015 Subaru that you're driving. I had the opportunity to spend, half a day with Rob Weir last Thursday at GRC Media Day, and we talked a lot about the car. But this car, I mean, even now, the car that you're going to be driving at Oregon Trail, it's quite a bit different from what we saw at Snowdrift, and I didn't realize that until Rob kind of brought me in the loop on the development that's gone on with that car.
Yeah, there's obviously for Snowdrift, the rally's quite specialised, and some of the package of the new parts that we were always planning on having for this year weren't necessarily going to be the best for that rally. So when we were a little bit delayed with the wide body kit, it gave us the opportunity to run a slightly different specification car for the snow rally, which is so specialised to anything else we do anywhere else in the world, with no studs and everything else. So we knew we had these parts coming through, and again, we've got a few more new parts for the car for this rally, but the basic chassis of the new model is absolutely awesome, and it's so much more stable. It's a stiffer chassis as well, so that it doesn't take as much driving input. And there's a few regulation changes that's happened to us this year where we've got to run, because of my speed factor, we've got to run a smaller turbo restrictor, and we've lost maybe 60 to 70 brake horsepower, but our speeds on the stages from what we did on 100-acre test shows that the gains we've made in the chassis were not really losing much from that loss of power, because we're gaining more corner speed, and that's through the aero package and everything else in the chassis. So they've done a fantastic job with the car again, and it's going to be a tough rally for sure. Oregon Trails is such a mix of everything between the tarmac, the high speed stages, and if there was one rally which might be a little bit harder with the smaller power. This will be one for the first 2 days, but I'm confident with the chassis and everything else. We've got a great package again.
Yeah. Well, Nick, talk about your ride, because obviously you're sporting a new weapon as well. I know car I believe debuted at 100 Acre. I mean, talk about this new car, because I know you said it's something. I know that the car you ran last year after the fire was, you guys kind of rushed it, and there was some things you weren't exactly happy with. Kind of talk about the new car you're running now.
Yeah, so after the fire we had last year at Oregon Trail, basically we built a new car in, I think it was 19 days, got ready for STPR, and we finished first in SP. But we rushed so hard to get that car done, there was a lot of things that I wanted to still improve. And so over the off-season this year, we basically changed out the cage. We put in a homologated cage out of Europe. So it's a lighter weight cage to try to pull weight out of the car, and then also lower the center of gravity in the car. And also we've now figured out a way to run the stock pistons without continually making the rings go on the pistons. So just doing a few things like that. So I think we're making the car lighter, be quicker. I'm just trying to, compete a little bit more with some of the top open cars. I mean, I'm never going to catch David, but there's some other open cars that, we're definitely on their radar and chasing their heels. So that makes it fun.
Yeah, well, in SP, I mean, it seems like the competition has been pretty stout so far this year in SP as well. I mean, that's got to have you excited, not being, not running away with everything, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, last year I had a great battle going on with Dylan Galloway, and he's got different stuff going on this year. But this year it's been great. I've got a good battle with Lachlan going on, and the competition is definitely deep, so it's fun just to get out there and have fun, because at the end of the day, it's not fun to race yourself. It's more fun to be out there racing somebody, pushing yourself to try to be better.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and David, going back to you, I got to say, my friend, I think you're about as excited as I am to see some gravel, right?
Yeah, I hope so. There's no snow on the forecast for this one, so... our car was absolutely awesome when we did the test before 100 Acre Woods Rally. We left the test super excited, ready to go, and then, you got to the rally and the disappointment of, it was actually Nick and Rhiannon that texted us to show us the snow when they arrived at the rally, and the disappointment of that was huge. But, rallying's rallying, and you've got to race in all conditions. But, this is a really, really good rally with Oregon Trail. It's got a great mix. There's a brilliant fan base that comes up here to support the rallying. So hopefully we can have some nice good weather, nice dry. It's the start of my summer when we come from the UK, so I'm really excited for this event again.
Yeah, well, and I think, to me it's exciting because, obviously, debut the new car at Snowdrift, and obviously not, we're never going to be able to see what it really can do. And then, everybody's excited about 100 Acre, and going into 100 Acre, we ended up having worse conditions than Snowdrift. So I really don't think anybody has a clue how fast this car actually is, because there hasn't been the conditions yet to really showcase it.
No, I have a few ideas of how fast the car can be, so I'm really excited. And the car is great. The team also always put so much effort into to give us a great car, and I'm excited about later on the year. For me as a driver, it's disappointing that Ken Block and some of the other guys haven't been about in the event, because, like Nick says, we all want to race and to race hard, and grow up as a young driver, working your way through and fighting tooth and nail to try and get a victory. And for me, I want the biggest battles we can have, and I'm looking forward to later in the year when we have Travis back and Ken back, and there's also going to be another guy coming over in an sport car as well later on. So I'm excited for that, but the important thing for us to do now as a team is to make sure our car is in the absolute best possible specification it can be, and the best style it can be, so when those guys come, we're ready to take the fight to them.
Yeah. Well, and we're getting some questions in now, on Twitter from some fans. This one's, I guess, directed at Nick Roberts. He goes, are you going to rename the Big Boy 2 stage Nick Roberts Redemption Stage, when you unleash on it?
Yes, that's the plan. I'm going to have to figure out some way to celebrate. However, when I finish that stage and we get done with the stage for the day, I'm going to be pretty happy. So far, I've been affected by earth, air, and fire on that stage. So as long as it's not raining, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, you've as fast as you've been, you've had some of the worst luck in rally the past year or two as well.
Yeah, it's just it's me being new. I've got a lot to learn. It's a sport with a kind of a steep learning curve. But, I've got Rhiannon in the car. She's great. She's got a ton of just experience. I think this rally here will mark her 98th or 99th rally. And so just having her in the car brings so much experience, and that kind of helps make up for my lack of experience. So it's definitely been a learning curve, and, I've definitely had a few accidents here and there, but I think that's all part of rally.
Yeah, now we're getting another question directed at David as we speak, but I got a fan that wants to know, wants to hear more about your experience in filming the Group B film.
Yeah, it was basically the guy who was making the film was making it for his end of school. Film school. He was in a film school academy thing, trying to get his degree. And he used to be a junior driver in a team that I was involved in back in 2008. So when he said he was making this film about rallying, it was a bit of a shock to the schools. They'd never heard anything about it before. And they had to make this film on like, I think the grant they get is something like £10,000 to do the movie for. And he managed to, between his friends and myself and a few other people, we managed to get the venue together, and I offered to do the driving for it. We got the Group B cars together for it. And it's only a short 25-minute film at the moment, but it's already had a fantastic review by the film people, and it's also possibly going to be nominated for even for an Oscar next year for the young short films category. So hopefully what they're looking for now is to try and see if they can make it into a full feature length. But I had massive fun driving those old cars and things that, when I was growing up and watching those cars around, and never thought I'd ever get a chance to drive one, and to drive a few of them, and probably now I've probably driven virtually all of the top Group B cars there was between different training and things I've done at my school. So it's great, but when you get in those cars, they're just pure brute force, and they're not very subtle. They don't turn very well. They don't stop very well. But when you put your foot on the gas pedal, they sure do light up and go. So they're a lot of fun, but compared to the cars we drive now, they're quite hard work, because they just aren't as fast as what we're used to being in now. Although they were banned for the danger reasons because of the speed, but they're quick in a straight line, and that's about all they do really.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, talking about the older cars, Steve Rimmer, you're up there in at DirtFish, and he's got quite a collection both there at DirtFish and I believe in England. Any of his cars you got your eye on, David?
Quite a few of them, but whenever I come here, he always hides the keys for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Oh, too funny. Well, talking about DirtFish, Nick, I mean, what do you guys have on tap? I mean, how many days you guys going to be there, and and what's on tap for the next few days while you're there at the school?
I think at this point we're looking at today. We're going to be spending the entire day today working together, which I'm looking forward to, and I've got. We got re-prep tomorrow. We re-prep in the car because we're actually using my car to do the training in. So we got to re-prep the car tomorrow for the event this weekend. And then we've got Wednesday. We have the press stage down at PIR in Portland. So because of timing, we could really only get one day of training in. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited to, just hear the knowledge that David's got and be able to speak it in. Hopefully I can kind of take it in and retain it and be able to apply that to the rally next weekend.
Yeah. Well, and here's a question for you. Are you guys, directed at both of you? Obviously, we've got Oregon Trail presented by O'Reilly, and then, flip around and we got Olympus in a few weeks. Are your cars going, back, obviously, Nick, to the Midwest, David to the East Coast, or are they staying out West?
No, for us, our team, would we come here, and then they have a base here where we have a workshop which they'll be using, which they've used for many years when they used to do the two events back to back before. So the guys will do I think we have a test on Wednesday, and then obviously we have the recce and then the rally Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The techs will stay over for probably 4 or 5 days and do most of the re-prep then. They'll fly back to Vermont, and then they'll just fly back down again a few days before the rally to do the final prep, and if they have to bring any more parts and things. So, but obviously with rallying things can change very quickly, and that's plan A. But with rallying we always need a plan B, C, and D just in case.
Yeah, you never.
And then mine's kind of about the same. Basically, lucky enough that DirtFish is going to be letting us keep our rig here between the two events. So after Oregon, assuming all goes well, we drive the rig back up here, and I think the crew's going to do a couple days of work on the car before they head back to Minneapolis. And then, order parts or whatever they got to do if we don't have it here. And then they come out about a week early before Olympus, finish doing the re-prep on the car, right here at DirtFish outside the RV, and we got everything we need there for the most part. So we're in pretty good shape, and just saving all that time and fuel costs trying to truck it back and forth across the country.
Okay. Well, David, I gotta put you on the spot, and Rob kind of opened himself up to this at GRC Media Day, but your name came up in conversation, and it was public conversation, but they're pretty excited about this new 2015 car they've got for Sver and Bucky, but he did make mention they did quite a few upgrades to the 2014 car, and he says it's sitting there ready, and he says we're hoping to unleash David and Travis at a few select events this year.
Right. That's news to me, but obviously those guys in the team, they know how desperate I am and how much I want to be doing some GRC events as well. So, I'm a phone call away, and I'll be ready to jump in the car whenever that can be. And last year when I was at DirtFish, we didn't have a great look, but the speed was always there, but we just didn't really have the things that go with you. And I think the problem with Rallycross is there can be days where you can be the fastest driver on the track, and luck's not going to go your way, and you're not going to win. And there'll be other days when you don't deserve to win, but luck goes your way and you get the win. So, with Rallycross, you certainly need to be doing more than just one event, because it's quite hard just to step into that one event only and really sort of expect to get a perfect result. But I hope I can get out in the car this year at some point. But, it's an expensive sport, and to try and get out in those extra cars, it's going to mean trying to get some more partners on board to try and make that happen.
Yeah. Well, and talk about kind of your skill set, because obviously you're very good at stage rally. You've been very fast at Rallycross and Gymkhana Grid for that matter. How does your driving style adapt, or do you have to change completely when you step into, say, Rallycross or Gymkhana Grid?
Not really, because my background, although my grandparents and my parents were all rallying, the first 10, 11 years of my motorsport was go-kart racing at a very high level, and I was doing top-level British Championship racing when we were against a lot of the current or not so current Formula 1 drivers at the time who were all trying to make a career of single-seaters. So I've got an awful lot of racing experience, and I try to maybe rally a little bit more like a racing driver than lots of other rally drivers do. I'm not the most spectacular, I'm not the most sideways guy, and that's because of my racing background. So when I do go into these other sports like the Rallycross, it's not a massive change for me, and I'm used to driving on tarmac and gravel. So and having the cars around me doesn't worry me, because obviously when we were racing karts, even 2010, I think I won my last kart championship as well. And that was with you have 34 people on the track all fighting for the same corner. So that doesn't worry me at all, where some rally guys aren't used to having other cars around them, where, I've grown up with that. So it really doesn't worry me too much. And the important thing to do is just to make sure you get the cars dialed to the right way, where Rallycross, there's so much in it. It's all about the start and the first corner, that sometimes you have to maybe not go for the perfect setup for what the cars do for the turning and for the overall race time, which in rallying we're looking at a much wider scale of what the cars need to be set up for. So that's the area where by doing more races you get more skill and get more used to that, really.
Yep. Well, and Nick, I know, you speaking of Rallycross, kind of jumped in, tried out a lights car last year. I mean, how was that experience for you? And any chance we possibly see you jump in for maybe a one-off at some point this year?
I'd love to get back in the car. I mean, it was a really fun opportunity. I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely a steep learning curve. It's a lot different than rally. I don't come from much racing background. I grew up driving four-wheelers and go-karts as a kid, and a lot of these guys that are moving into the GRC, they've got karting experience or other tarmac experience from the States. So I'm a little bit behind the eight ball, and driving in traffic, all that stuff's kind of new to me. But it was fun. I think I did 3 races. There was the 2 heats in the final, and each one I saw a lot of progression. I mean, from where I started, I just absolutely was not even competitive. By the time we made it to the final, there was a little bit of a shuffle in the first corner, and I think I got up to 3rd or 4th, and eventually lost those spots. But you could see that in those 3 races, how much I progressed. So, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I do hope to get back in the car sometime.
Yeah. Well, and I know I've heard you're doing some work with Rally Safe. Kind of explain a little bit what you're doing with them.
Yeah, so we're really kind of excited about that for Oregon here, especially because that's the luck I've had here. But Rally Safe, it's this product basically where It's a satellite tracking system in the car. They use it in other rally championships in other parts of the world. And we tried it out at LSPR last year just to, see how it would work, see if, what the benefits were. And there's a couple of benefits. It's the safety kind of the number one reason. Basically, the championship, the directors, the organizing body is able to monitor all the cars live on stage. If there's any kind of, crash, impact, rollover, if the car stops, it basically notifies the radio net control right away. So it basically takes a huge portion of the response time out, making, if there was an event or something that were to happen, it can take 15 to 20 minutes off somebody getting to the help. But I think the other part that's really cool about it is the fact that anybody can go download the app on their phone. You can go to a website at rallysafe.com. You can click on the race, and you can track all the cars live on stage. You can see splits between the cars. You can see it's got live timing, so when I'm racing, you can see, if I'm racing against Lachlan, you can see when I finish the stage what my time is, and right away when he finishes the stage what his time is. So it really allows people and my friends that can't make it to the event to be able to go online, see what's going on, and feel like they're actually part of the event, which is really cool, and I think it's a great way to get people involved in the sport.
Yeah, I agree, and it's it makes the sport of stage rally just that much more accessible, and I think that's a big deal because we all know with some of the remoteness of some of these stages, and no cell service, no internet service. I mean, it definitely makes it tough. So I think anything that can bring the sport that much closer is a good thing.
Well, that's just it. We're excited about it. We're working with Rally Safe. I mean, I'm not getting sponsored or paid or anything by them, but it's just something that I truly believe, and I think it's really going to be the future of rally in the United States. And so for the Oregon Trail Rally, we're actually going to be running the system in our car. We'll be the only car with it, so nobody will be able to go and compare our times to anybody else, but it allows friends and fans to be able to go online and track us on stage and see what we're doing. And as we tackle the infamous stage, people can watch us finish it. Knock on wood.
Yeah, you'll have a bunch of cheers at home, right, when you finish that stage?
That's right.
Well, David, I mean, going back to talking about Oregon Trail presented by O'Reilly, I mean, what do you expect out of this event? I mean, kind of give us a rundown on Oregon Trail because it's a little bit different of an event. I mean, everything's starting with the events at PIR on Friday. You've been here before. You've done this event quite a few times. I mean, what makes this event different?
Yes, the event's different for sure because it's a 3-day event. But every day is very, very different to the other one. So, the first night we're all around the Portland racetrack, which is mostly tarmac with a few little gravel sections. So we get to sort of play with full tarmac tyres for that day. The second race day is a super fast and probably some of the fastest, most sort of open, flowing roads you'll ever get, and also probably some of the most scenic roads you'll ever get. And then when you come to Sunday is probably one of the most technical stages we have in Rally America. Very fast in places, but very narrow between the trees, lots of bumps and things. They're really, really technical stages and also quite demanding on the tyres. So every day you go into is almost like a different strategy. It's a different sort of mindset to how you attack the stages. But it's been a very, very tough rally for me when I first came over here. I've won the rally every time I've been here, but it's also a rally where I very, very almost retired from rallying back in 2003 when Mark and Roger tragically had their bad accident, and I was probably sort of 3 or 4 minutes away from never getting in the car again at the time, but made a sort of last-minute turnaround and got back in and went, and thankfully it's been very, very good since then. So when I always fly for this event, it's always a little bit of mixed emotions because we've had obviously some fantastic wins here all the time, but also I always have that memory that when I come back to here, it was also one of my probably darkest days ever in motorsport. So it's a tough event, but one I'm really looking forward to. Again, the organisers are a great bunch of people that are very enthusiastic. They talk to the drivers, they listen to the drivers, and they're always willing to try and make the event better and better each year.
Yeah, well, and Nick, kind of same question directed to you. Obviously, you've had your ups and downs at this event, to say the least. What makes this event just different from all the others?
Well, even though I've never finished this event in the 2 years I've tried, I still tell everybody it has to be my favorite event out of an entire series. I mean, as David was saying, the roads are just so different. You have 3 days of racing, and they're 3 completely different days of racing, which I think it's awesome. The scenery is absolutely incredible. I mean, it's beautiful out here. I can't think of another spot in the country that looks like this. It's really just an amazing opportunity, and the fans are great. The organizers are great. They put so much time and effort into putting this event together. And I think another really cool part is there's a big kind of rally community in Canada that comes down for the event as well. So, and there's a big West Coast presence of rally cars that we don't necessarily see when we're competing in the Midwest or on the East Coast. So it's just kind of a fun opportunity to see some people and friends that we don't necessarily always get to see, and brings in some new competition and some new cars, and it just, I don't know, kind of makes you, even though you're coming from other events and you kind of know, you feel kind of comfortable where your pace is going to be. You never know who's going to show up and bring a new car and make you have to push that a little bit harder.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know, you guys got some training to do today, and, we've held you up long enough. I guess we'll let you attack that beautiful facility there at DirtFish Rally School, and we'll see you Friday at Portland Raceway for to kick off Oregon Trail Rally.
Sounds good, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Look forward to seeing you Friday.
All right. Thanks a lot, David. Thanks, Nick, and we'll catch up soon.
Bye now.
All right. Bye. All right, that was David Higgins, Nick Roberts talking Oregon Trail Rally in 2015, and talk about a fun interview with two definitely of the I would say the elite caliber teams in Rally America, both Nick Roberts' team and David Higgins with Subaru, and we poked a little fun in that, and but both teams just absolutely. Tremendous people, great for the sport of stage rally, and in the United States and in North America, and both drivers so accessible. If you're a fan and you're out there at PIR this weekend, definitely go up to them, talk with them. If you see them at a park expose, I mean, even at some of the service parks in between stages, both drivers, always taking time for the fans, and just absolutely some great people. To have involved in the sport of rally. So, we're definitely going to take a short commercial break now. We're midway through this first hour presented by DirtFish Rally School. When we come back, we're going to have an interview with Brenten Kelly, and then also with Joni Wiman. I'm going to be talking with him about 2015, and it was one that I captured at GRC Media Day, and definitely worth hanging on to. And then hour number 2, Ashley Kidd, Ami Houde, got some SCORE Baja Sur results, Stadium Super Trucks, and some Polaris RZR UTV news and work. So this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I am Jim Beaver, and we will be back in a few minutes with Brenten Kelly.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Jim Beaver, and I just got done with David Higgins, Nick Roberts, getting ready for Oregon Trail Rally. This first half of the show today, hour number one, brought to you by DirtFish Rally, our longtime partners. And speaking of partners, I got to tell you, had a bunch of partners come and get involved this year, and KMC Wheels, and and obviously General Tire's been a big part, but MTX Audio, we're doing some stuff behind the scenes with equipment and things like that, and they're getting me dialed in, and another one, Gibson Exhaust. I got to tell you, that new Gibson Exhaust spot, if you didn't catch it, I love it, man. Kind of plays with your ears and goes back and forth, and it's very cool stuff. So definitely check them out when you get a chance. Skip over to their website. If you got a Jeep, a hot rod, a muscle car, a off-road truck, a UTV, they can definitely get you dialed in. But Nick Roberts, David Higgins. Not very often you can get two. I would say two of probably two of the best drivers in Rally America. I mean, full-time drivers in Rally America on air at the same time from the same phone over speakerphone. Definitely got to give a big shout-out to DirtFish for helping me dial that in. Very cool stuff, and heading into Oregon Trail Rally this weekend. Lots of good talk. But right now, I'm gonna skip over to an interview with another DirtFish teammate of mine and of David's and Nick's, Brenten Kelly. Longtime instructor at DirtFish, now with FY Racing. I had the opportunity to catch up with him over the weekend. He's actually driving from the Midwest to DirtFish, where he's going to be training, I believe, on Tuesday, and then heading down to Oregon Trail Rally on Wednesday. Great interview with Brenten Kelly. Apologized, a little bit scratchy in spots, but it literally was a cell phone call from the middle of nowhere on the road. So here is Brenten Kelly. All right, we're catching up with Brenten Kelly, who currently is driving cross-country on his way to Oregon Trail Rally with a stop at our friends at DirtFish Rally in Snoqualmie. How's everything going, Brenten?
Going pretty good. How about you?
Things are good, man. I got to tell you, this got to be a pretty exciting year for you. I know, talking with you, over the course of the past couple rounds in Rally America, both at 100 Acre and at Snowdrift, your plans were, I think, to do the first two rallies of the year and then the last two rallies of the year, and somehow here we are, the third rally, and you're knocking this one out too.
Yeah, I originally only planned on doing the first two events, the last two, but kind of went a little better than expected the first two events. I think right now I'm tied for third place in the national championship with Nick Roberts. So kind of going for the next two events and just see how it goes.
Yeah, just keep on pushing, huh?
Yeah, this will be my fourth event in this car, so it's still a learning process. I've had some really good results this year, so I just want to keep pushing myself and see how fast I can actually go and actually start putting down some better stage times.
Yeah, well, and I know the first two rallies of the year were just insane. I mean, talking with you, I think you played it smart, and your points, dictate that. You just played it safe, and especially at 100 Acre. I mean, there was guys, even I think Higgins at one point had an off, and I think it's just been through the first two rallies, stay clean, and that's what you've been able to do.
Yeah, definitely. I learned my lesson at Snowdrift the year before when I kind of went out a little bit hot and crashed on the first stage. So this year I kind of tiptoed a little bit earlier, and the times are looking pretty good right away. And they were ice events. They were frustrating, but we finished good, and they're still fun. So I'm really looking forward to the gravel. Yeah,
I think you and everybody else in Rally America is looking forward to the gravel. It definitely wasn't the way you wanted to start out. With two back-to-back snow events. And I know talking with your teammate Adam Yeoman, at 100 Acre. I mean, he's not one. It sounds like that's much in love with the snow, and then to get him back-to-back, I think it definitely is. I think everybody's looking forward to the gravel, right?
Yeah, definitely. We actually heard that it snowed on Fir Mountain a couple of days ago, so we're all bringing snow tires with us just to have them, but we're really hoping it does not snow there.
Yeah. Obviously heading up to DirtFish, going to do some training up there on Tuesday. That's kind of feel special to you. I mean, obviously, DirtFish, you worked there for a long time as an instructor. Kind of going back to your old stomping grounds, kind of be fun.
Yeah, definitely. I started working at DirtFish about 3 years ago, kind of as an entry-level instructor in the beginning, kind of worked my way up. And I haven't been there in a few months, but I'm really looking forward to testing and getting back with everyone. And then I'm easily going to do some work there, a little bit more instructing in between Oregon and Olympus. So I'll be out west for almost over a month.
Oh wow, that'll be cool, and definitely some nice surprise for a lot of the people going up there and taking classes. I know it's kind of cool. You never know who's going to be there, and obviously people that follow Rally America know you. And then I know this next week I think Higgins and Nick Roberts are both popping in there. So you kind of you never know who's going to pop in. I know your time working there, you guys had celebrities popping through from time to time, and it's got to be kind of a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. There's always something happening at DirtFish. I mean, I'm just amazed by the amount of people I met in the few years working there. Like, just every week there's something new and something crazy happening, and kind of always something interesting there. And it's growing and it's staying alive, and it's really good to see DirtFish expanding this year, and they're kind of growing their own team and doing the GRC Lights team. And it's really cool to see how much the school has actually grown in just a few years.
Yeah. Well, and I know, speaking of that, you are going to have something a little special at Oregon Trail, I believe. You're going to have some DirtFish logos maybe on the helmet and on the car, I hear, maybe?
Yeah, we're working some stuff out. DirtFish is going to help me out with some stuff. So, I mean, they're doing the test out there and having a couple of the shop guys come out and help crew for me. So we're looking forward to working with them more in the future and really hoping these two events go well so that's possible.
Yeah, for sure. So, looking forward to Oregon Trail and then obviously Olympus. Anything you're looking forward to other than getting out of the snow?
I've done Oregon before, and I did some of the roads at Olympus when it was nameless, so I'm kind of a little familiar with both these events, and I would definitely say Oregon's probably the most fun I've ever had at a rally, so I'm really looking forward to that, as well as the Friday night stuff, the tarmac stages at the PRI, is it PRI or PR?
I think it's PIR.
PIR.
Okay, yeah. One of the two.
I'll restart that. Really looking forward to the PIR stages. A lot of spectators come out. They got a couple of jumps. It looks like this year they have some kind of loop or donut thing set up, so I'm really looking forward to that. I love putting on a show for the fans, and seeing that many people out there really motivates me to kind of push myself a little bit harder and kind of get a little crazier with it. So looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, I know I was talking with some of the promoters, and they were saying, that Friday night in particular, some of the the local Oregon Trail promoters, and then obviously Rally America. I think it's kind of one of the best, I guess, days of the entire year as far as rally fans go, being able to, be up close and personal, with the stage rally cars. I know a lot of the time these super specials run and you guys are in and out and, fans, don't get to see a whole lot, but it seems like they really, almost draw on a Rallycross type atmosphere there at Portland Raceway.
Yeah, definitely. The crowds are always huge there, and it's awesome to see, bleachers actually set up at some spectator corners, which is something you usually don't see in a rally. So it's really cool to see that many people there and people getting that excited about it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your car real quick, because I know you said this is, I believe, going to be your fourth rally in the car. I mean, how is the car, and how has development been? I mean, have you learned a lot? I mean, you feel like you're getting faster in it?
Yeah, definitely. I bought the car from Rocket Rally in Canada. It's Max Riddle's old car from a couple of years ago, and I kind of did LSPR just the way I bought the car, and I kind of made upgrades kind of every event. In this event, we actually moved the pedal box back 6 inches so I can sit a little bit more comfortably in the car. The car was built for a guy a bit shorter than me, so just making changes in the car to get me more comfortable to be able to push has been a big part of it, as well as upgrading parts in the car. I'm actually renting a dog box this event, so I'm really looking forward to kind of tackling that a little bit and getting a little bit quicker with that. But
yeah,
it's a big process, and the guys at FY have really helped me a lot with car setup, and that's making me drive a lot faster as well. Car setup's something I didn't really know a whole lot about, and I'm learning constantly, so I'm liking the car quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, and here's a question, because obviously you're involved with FY in multiple capacities, both as a driver, and then I believe you also do some work on the cars. You guys going to be moving back to Michigan over the break between Oregon Trail and Olympus, or do you guys have a home base set up there for those couple of weeks on the West Coast?
A couple of the guys are going to stay and work on the car, and then the rest of them are going to fly back to work on the new car, the S12B STI that Adam's been building a little bit, so they want to get some more progress done on that. So they're going to fly a couple of the guys back to work on that while, I don't know, is it 2 weeks in between the events?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, so we're renting a house during the event, but I think most of the guys are actually flying back in between the events. Okay.
Awesome. Well, definitely looking forward to the rally and a couple on the West Coast and obviously some proper gravel rallies at this point. I think all of us are over the snow and, ready to see a little dust, I guess.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully not too much dust.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're, driving cross country at this point, but we'll definitely catch up with you soon, and we'll see you out at Oregon Trail.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Brenten. All right. That was Brenten Kelly talking a little bit of Oregon Trail Rally. And, kind of his tie-in with DirtFish there. And, Brenten, one of those guys, always fun to talk with, been around the sport for a long, long time, got definitely a big knowledge base, and stoked for him, his successes thus far. Right now, we're still in this first hour sponsored by DirtFish Rally School up there in Snoqualmie. Find out more information at www.dirtfish.com. But right now we're going to switch gears a little bit, go a little bit of rallycrossing. But before we do that, do want to make mention our boy Ken Block, him and Alex Gelsomino, good friends of mine and good friends of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, decided they wanted to go and try their hand at a little New Zealand stage rally over the weekend, and tip of the cap to those boys, walking away with a first-place finish down there in New Zealand, and some pretty cool trophies. And I got to tell you, if you've seen Ken Block's trophy case like I have, he's got some pretty awesome trophies in there. But this one definitely pretty cool. It's kind of a removable helmet. Definitely one that'll stand out in that ever growing trophy case of Ken Block's. But got to give a big shout out to him and Alex for dominating down there in New Zealand. Looks like they got a couple of weeks off, and then they're back in New Zealand for another stage rally before they kick off Rallycross in Florida with the GRC opener. So big props to the boys at Hoonigan Racing and Ken and Alex for bringing it home down there in New Zealand. Right now we're going to switch gears and talking to we're going to switch gears and and talk a little rallycross with Joni Wiman, not Johnny anymore, Joni Wiman. All right, we're here catching up with 2014 Red Bull GRC champ Joni Wiman. I like calling you Joni now. We're back to your roots, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I was called Johnny last year, but well, for me it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what they said. When you're champion, you can call yourself whatever you want, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's talk about last year, coming in, GRC Lights title. You were flawless there and won all of them. I mean, what were your expectations going into 2014? I mean, is there any idea in your mind that you could take home the championship in your rookie year?
No, never. I mean, of course I expected to do well, but to walk out with a championship was just amazing. I was quite confused that 1 month after the race. It's hard to believe in the first year, but yeah, we had our ups and downs. All of the drivers fighting for a championship had, but I think we were the ones who, got away with the smallest problems.
Well, and it had to be a dream come true last year. I mean, signing with Red Bull at the beginning of the year, that's every driver's dream. And then, to be consistent pretty much all year and, walk away with the title. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right?
No, I would say I'm living the dream right now.
Looking at this year, I mean, what are some of the goals? I mean, you're returning as a champion. Obviously you're very consistent last year. I know, the big win escaped you. I mean, that's got to be goals, win races this year, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm looking to defend the championship until the end, but I would say the main goal from the first race is to win a race, and by winning the race, be close to winning, will always be good in the end.
Well, and talking about this offseason, I mean, how have things changed? Obviously, Mitchell DeYoung coming in as your teammate, that's pretty big. You guys competed against each other in lights, and had some, I don't want to say good battles there. You were pretty much on top of the game, but Mitchell turned around last year and had a good season. I mean, looking forward to this year, both of your Red Bull teammates, I mean, share a lot of sponsors like KMC Wheels. I mean, it's got to have you pretty excited to have a teammate that's kind of got the same background as you.
Yeah, it's cool to have him. He's a young guy, but very fast. So I'm trying to avoid him making the same mistakes I did last year in the start of the season, and I would say that's one of the things I have to give him.
Well, and I know your specific background, you come from pavement. I know Mitchell, he comes from the dirt, so maybe there's a little bit you could both add to the program.
Yeah, of course we need to, for sure he will be strong on the gravel, as you said. But the main thing with two fast guys in the team is to always push each other, and by that we will be on the top.
And let's talk about the past couple of years, because obviously coming to the United States and Marcus Grunholm, he had a big part in your career and helping you be the driver you are, and then obviously Andreas has stepped in and helped you. You've had two great mentors. I mean, two of the best in the world. I mean, how has the past couple of years been to as you as a driver maturing?
Well, of course, Andreas is he's so passionate about Rallycross. He wants to make everything to make it grow. Marcus has just an amazing experience to everything. So I mean, putting those two together, they have given me a lot. I think Marcus was giving me more about how to drive smooth, and Andreas has given me a lot on setting up the cars.
Well, it's got to be kind of fun too, having them, because as driving coaches and things like that, a lot of people can tell you what to do. I mean, Marcus and Andreas, they can both jump in the car and show you what to do, right?
Yeah, that's the scary part. If I'm saying the car is not good, I cannot go fast. The nightmare would be that they would jump in the car and do faster. So I don't want to be in that situation.
Well, looking forward to this year. I mean, you've driven a lot of the tracks. Some of them have changed. Any events you're looking forward to? Obviously, and let's talk about X Games. I mean, what would it be like to bring home a gold medal there? Obviously you've got one from Lights, but Supercar gold medal, it's got to be something you're looking forward to trying to get.
Yeah, for sure. That will be one of the biggest races this year. Then Barbados was really cool last year. Not only the track, but the I like the country a lot. So those two for sure.
Well, I appreciate you spending a few minutes, and it's good luck this year. I mean, obviously retaining, coming back the champion. It's got to be an exciting year for you.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, great catching up with Joni, as he's known this year. Definitely stoked on being able to call him Joni again. It's funny, you work in motorsports, and I don't want to say as long as me, because I haven't really, I've been involved in motorsports for a long time, but I won't say necessarily worked in motorsports for a long, long time. But a couple of years ago, it was Joni, and as announcers in Red Bull GRC, we train ourselves to that. And then last year, marketing change, and I don't know who was behind it, but everybody tries something different. And, it was Johnny, and now this year he's the champ again. Now we're going to go back to Joni. So I kind of dig it, but he's kid's definitely a character, and being able to interview him the past 3 years, like I have, a couple times each year, you've seen his growth. Both as a driver. I mean, he's absolutely an elite level talent. You have to be to win Red Bull GRC Championship back-to-back, Lights and Supercar, and especially in your rookie year. But he's grown as a person too, and you can definitely tell. And just definitely a nice kid, and one that you have no choice but to root for. And talking about GRC Media Day, I mean, talk about a great experience last Thursday. I also had the opportunity to sit down with Chip Ganassi. We're going to air that interview next week in the radio show, which will be a Tuesday show. I'll add again. Big announcements coming out of there. Red Bull re-signing with Red Bull GRC through 2017. So I guess 2015 was going to be the last year of that contract. Re-upping, they're back in. 2017 is now the new duration of the contract. Huge for both the series and Red Bull. Big team announcements, nothing that we hadn't really heard before. I think really the biggest news, obviously we mentioned, Subaru. They've got those 2014 cars sitting there. Made it sound like they definitely want to put Higgins and Pastrana in them at some point. We know Pastrana's in for X Games. Past that, haven't heard much, but there are cars sitting there. So if Higgins or Pastrana is available, or if the funds come available, they definitely plan on campaigning a third car at select events, it sounds like. Big news coming out of the Ford side of things. Obviously Ganassi coming in, going to run 2 Fords. They're going to be M Sport cars. Houde coming in, they're going to be running cars. They're going to be M Sport cars. SH Racing announcing Nelson Piquet formally. I think we all knew he was going to be there, but to formally announcing him as their driver. They're with the Oldsberg cars, so it's kind of a split now this year. You've got the M Sport cars, obviously Ken Block, Hoonigan Racing, they're there, and then you've got the Oldsberg cars as well. So it's kind of a split, a line drawn in the sand. We're going to see which cars are better. As we saw last year, I mean, Ken Block ridiculously fast, but the Oldsberg cars definitely held their own, won some events, and obviously took home the title. So M Sport, Oldsberg, a mix of Fords this year. I think that's definitely going to be one of the interesting storylines. But great event. I know, skip over to Red Bull, globalrallycross.com. You can get all the details on what happened at Media Day. But this first hour of the Down and Dirty Radio Show has been definitely a interesting one, an entertaining one, and it all has been brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. So skip over to dirtfish.com, book some classes, and it's get in on the fun. And those of you wanting a discount code for 10% off, skip over to my website. Go through the archives. I'm not going to give it right now on air, but if you go over to downanddirtyshow.com, you go through kind of the show archives there and feature archives. I have a coupon code for 10% off posted there. So use that coupon code and, courtesy of DirtFish and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and get 10% off any class you book at dirtfish.com. So we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have Ashley Kidd, Stadium Super Truck, SCORE Baja Sur results, Polaris RZR UTV news, including some works coverage, and Ami Houde will be back talking some Supercross. That's all coming in hour number 2 of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes. Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Got done with hour number one. Packed 4 interviews into that first hour. David Higgins, Nick Roberts, live from DirtFish Rally School. Then we had Joni Wiman, or Wiman. I've heard him called both. I asked him, and he just says whatever. But I think the Yoni's the bigger thing to him. But anyways, great catching up with him. Just a classy kid, and going to do great things in his career. So young, and gosh, you want to see 10 years down the road what this kid's going to be doing. And then obviously Brenten Kelly, my DirtFish Rally teammate, kind of front runner in Rally America this year. Definitely great catching up with him. So big shout out to DirtFish Rally School for sponsoring that first half with all those drivers. Rolling into hour number 2 here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Ashley Kidd, she's up next, and then we're going to roll into some Stadium Super Trucks results, SCORE Baja Sur, Polaris RZR UTV news with some works coverage, and then we're going to have Ami Houde and some Supercross results to cap off today's show. Man, talk about a great one. Don't forget, we got Rally America Radio happening this weekend from Oregon Trail Rally, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. So Rally America Radio, you definitely want to be tuned in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know we'll be live trackside in Portland International Raceway on Friday, and then we'll be doing a lot of updates throughout the day on Saturday and Sunday. So you want to tune in for those. But right now, we're going to roll in to an interview I did at one of the rounds of the World Wake Surfing Championship with my Rigid Industries teammate, Ashley Kidd. Great catching up with her, and there's definitely some off-road influence, and it's going to be interesting, for you guys. You listen in, because you ask her what she really wants to do with her career, and you're going to be interesting. You're going to be interesting to find out what she said. So here is Ashley Kidd, my Rigid Industries teammate. All right, we're here at Blue Water Resort and Casino, Wakeboard Island, catching up with Ashley Kidd here at Supreme Wake Surf Championships. How's everything going, Ashley?
Everything's been awesome. It's a great venue. You're having a lot of fun. It's perfect conditions. I couldn't ask for anything else.
Yeah, a little bit sunny, not a lot of wind. It's definitely got to be a good day to be out on the water.
Oh, for sure. And the wave's been pretty good, too.
So I know you just finished up your first run. How'd that go? I mean, kind of give us the format here. It's over the course of 2 days, right?
Yeah. So what they do is they take the today, Friday, and Saturday, and they'll add up the 2 days together, and then that'll be the final score. And then they'll do the podium after everyone's runs tomorrow on Saturday. All
right, so rolling into this year, I mean, I know, kind of season's just kicking off. You were 2014 Rider of the Year, correct?
Yes, I was actually Female Rider of the Year for 2014, and I also got first place at the World Wake Surf Championship. So it was a good year for me.
Yeah, definitely returning champ. And, I got to ask you, I was reading up, and, you've never finished lower than, second place in an event? I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, I kind of pushed myself really hard. I've only gotten first or second, and last year, 2014, I got first place at every contest I went to, so I'm hoping 2015 will go the same way.
Yeah, for sure. You got to kind of let me know, how you got into wake surfing, because I know, me, I mean, I've been around the water. I've wakeboarded since the time I was 5, and now I'm into wake skating and stuff like that. But there's always kind of like a gateway that gets you into something. I mean, what was your gateway into wake surfing?
So it's actually a funny story. When I was 5 years old, I grew up in Corpus Christi, Texas, right by the ocean. So my mom would take me to the beach pretty much every day, and I was so into boogie boarding, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be a pro surfer when I'm older. Then my aunt actually showed me a hermit crab, scared me to death. So I would not go back in the water. Didn't go back in the water until I was around 11 years old. My stepdad had got a wakeboarding boat, and we had a lake house outside of Lake Medina, or at Lake Medina outside of San Antonio. And I learned how to wakeboard. The only way my mom got me to go in the water was she told me that it was a man-made lake. There weren't fish. Nothing was in the water. I didn't pay attention to the fact that there were actually people fishing on the lake. But I believed her, so I got in the water and learned how to wakeboard and loved it. And then a couple years later, my brother came out on the boat, and he's surfed his whole life, and he came out and started wake surfing and got me to try it. And at first I was stubborn, didn't want to try it. I was like, no, I'm just going to wakeboard. And then after a while, I finally gave in, and I tried it, and I fell in love. It just completely changed my life, and now it's all I do.
So I got to ask you ever get back in the ocean now?
Yeah, actually, I do get back in the ocean now, and I surf in the ocean. I started surfing in the ocean about 2 years ago.
Well, and I got to ask you, I mean, obviously, water skiing's been around forever. Wakeboarding, definitely not as long as that, but it's been around for quite a while. I mean, wake surfing's a relatively new sport. I mean, you kind of were at the ground floor of this thing. I mean, how have you seen the sport grow?
I've definitely watched it grow a lot. My first contest was in 2010, And since then, the contests have just gotten bigger. So many more people are getting into the sport. Sponsors, everybody. It's awesome to see it all coming together.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be kind of cool to be able to actually, make a living at something you're passionate about, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I couldn't imagine my life any other way.
So I know a lot of people are wondering, because normally, we're action motorsports show. We kind of dive into wakeboarding a little bit here and there because it's kind of my passion. But big tie-in with you and I is Rigid Industries. I'm on the desert side and you're on the water side. And, how has it been working with Rigid?
Oh, it's been awesome. They're a great company. All the lights are awesome. I have them on my truck, actually, so when I back up my Centurion at night and everything, I can see everything perfect. It's definitely helpful.
Well, I know I've looked at some of their stuff for, trying to get them to send it out to me for some of the underwater lighting. They've got some pretty cool stuff that goes underneath the boat. That's got to be pretty cool at night, right?
Oh, yeah. They're really, really bright. It's really good for wake surfing at night. And they've also got some pretty bright lights for, the inside of the boat, on the tower, everywhere.
So, looking at 2015, what are the plans for Ashley Kidd?
I'm going to go ahead and try to hit every contest I can go to, compete at Worlds, hopefully be world champion again. I'm going to be starting up a swimsuit company also, so I'm really excited on that. And other than that, just keep up my wake surfing career.
Definitely, any plans, obviously starting up your own businesses and stuff like that. Kind of on the action sports side, you ever thought about doing anything else, in addition to wake surfing? Maybe getting into wakeboarding a little bit or actual surf competitions?
I have actually thought about racing since my brother races. He's been wanting me to get into it. And, I've always used to have a go-kart and dirt bike and stuff when I was younger, so I think I would really enjoy it, and I want to try it out sometime.
Yeah, I see. I think we need to get Rigid on that, right? They got ties to the desert. We need to get you out in some kind of off-road car, right?
Yeah, definitely. That would be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I appreciate you catching up with us here, and I know you got your one run in and got another one later on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Give a shout out to some of the sponsors, or where can people find out more info on you?
Yeah, there's more information on me at ashleykidd.com. I definitely want to give out a big thanks to all my sponsors: Centurion Boats, Erie Wake, Rigid Industries, Monster Energy, Juiceland, Austin, and Hula Boat Care. Thank you for making all this possible for me.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ashley, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, great catching up with Ashley Kidd. We don't normally dive into action sports too much here and there, but once in a while there's a great tie-in like there was with this interview with Ashley and Rigid Industries, and definitely made that happen. And I got to mention, she ended up dominating the weekend, taking home yet another first place. So girl has never finished lower than second place in any competition. It's just crazy. You never finished lower than second place. Absolutely crazy. So, great catching up with her. And, I'd like to do some tie-ins there with the Rigid Nation once in a while. And, they've definitely got some stellar athletes, both on, the motorsports side, but on the fishing and water side as well. And Ashley Kidd definitely one of them. So, we're going to skip forward, though, right now. We're going to dive into some Polaris RZR UTV news brought to you by our partners at Polaris RZR. And, fortunate enough, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, spent some time up at Winter Terracross in the Ultimate Snowmobiler. Had an absolute blast up there. Winter Terracross, kind of an exhibition we did, and ton of fun doing that. Me personally, I do have to make mention. We shot some cool video and features and stuff like that up there. I somehow got the whole shot. 10-lap main event. I led 9.5 laps of the main event up there in Winter Terracross. Let's not talk about the last half a lap when I put the RZR on its side. But, whole shot, led 9.5 laps. Me, hand raised in the air right now. Blew the lead and ended up, I don't know what I finished. But, got the whole shot, led 9.5 laps, and ended up putting it on its side. So there you go, my story from Winter Terracross. But awesome time up there. It's got me really stoked on the full Terracross Championship starting this summer, kicking things off in San Diego. Lots more on that to come. But works, we had some works racing over the weekend. We're going to get to those results from Hurricane, Utah, and the boys on the Razors definitely dominating the pro class. Ryan Piplick taking home the win. Bo Barron second. Mitch Guthrie Jr. in that radical-looking car finishing up in third. That was side-by-side pro. Pro stock results went as follows. Jacob Shaw in another Polaris taking the win. Cody Rowley in second. Third went to Collins Webster. And then skipping down to side-by-side unlimited. Side-by-side unlimited went as follows. Ryan Piplick with yet another win. Mitch Guthrie, another podium in second. And then David Martinez finishing up in third in the side-by-side unlimited. Side-by-side 1,000 stock. Side-by-side 1,000 stock results were Chase Warren with the win, Bryce Lamont in second, and Brian Cernius in third, all on Polaris Razors. Moving on to side-by-side powder puff, because we got to show the ladies a little loving. Jennifer Broughton in a Polaris taking home the win. Angela Olander in second, and Brandy Barron finishing up in third. That is in the powder puff class. So great racing happening up there in Hurricane, Utah. Looks like Cedar City, Utah up next on tap for the Work Series. But Polaris dominating the weekend there. And then moving over to UTVs at the Baja Sur race. Brandon Schuler, Chad Hammer, Scott Kiger, Polaris Razor 1000 dominating Class 1900 in the Jagged X entry. Derek Murray finishing up in second. And then third went to Johnny Angel. Brandon Sims, your UTV world champ in the Polaris Razor XP4 1000. So they took home that third place finish. So Polaris, 2 out of the 3 podium spots there in Class 19. Got to say our good friend Mark Burnett in the Polaris Razor finishing the event in 8th place, trying to get that new Polaris Razor dialed in. So, that is your results for the SCORE Baja Sur race as well as the Works race this past weekend, and that has been your Polaris Razor UTV news for the weekend. Brought to you by our good friends at Polaris Razor. Check out Polaris.com for all the details. So skipping over more Baja Sur results, we did have a full race going on down there. SCORE Trophy Truck, Eduardo Laguna, that's Lalo Laguna taking home the win. Steven Eugenio in second, Rob Mack in third. Class 1, your winner Carlos Olmos and Nicholas Ambrice. A lot of you know him from the El Martillo Racing Team, taking home that Class 1 win. 1-2-16-100 went to Aaron Ampudia and Alan Ampudia. In the Papas and Beer entry, taking home the 1600 win. Class 5, Victor Cessna. 5-1600, Enrique Zazuate. Class 7, Dan Chamley. Emencio Lopez finishing Class 8 in first. Class 10 went to Cody Reed. Trophy Truck Spec, Larry Connor. Class 3000, Chad Broughton. Motorcycle entries, Colton Udall taking home that win in motorcycles. Mark Winkleman in Class 30, Collie Potter. In Class 40, Ironman, Kevin Daniels, Sportsman Buggy, Derek Fletcher, Sportsman Motorcycle, Pedro Ibarra, Sportsman Quad, Fabio Davis. That was your winners. Your overall, just give you a quick rundown on those. It was Lalo Laguna first, Eugenio second, Rob Mack third, Juan Carlos Lopez, or just Carlos Lopez, finishing up in fourth. Carlos Olmos, Nicholas Ambrice, fifth. Gus Vidosla, Tavo Jr. and Sr. in sixth. Gary Magnus, seventh. Cody Reed, Aaron, and Alan Ampudia in a 1-2-1600, sneaking into the top 10 overall. I can't tell you the last time that's happened. It had to have been like Rob Mack 10, 15 years ago. Big shout-out to the Ampudias in a 1-2-1600, sneaking into the top 10 overall. That doesn't happen rarely ever. I mean, we're talking a a 1 in 1,000 deal there. Huge props to them. Shelby Reed, Class 1, finishing up in 10th overall. So that was your SCORE Baja Sur results for the event down there in Cabo. And the Ampudias, man, 9th overall in a 1600 car. Huge, absolutely huge. Moving on to some stadium super trucks. They were banging doors in Long Beach. Some pretty cool names on the list, like Kyle LeDuc jumping over and running one of those. Looks like he is on that X Games entry list as well. So, maybe he's getting a little seat time before the X Games. But EJ Viso taking home the win. Sheldon Creed, the prodigy, in second. Robbie Gordon taking home another podium in third. Scotty Steele, fourth. Keegan Kincaid, fifth. Gavin Harley in sixth. Dale Dondell, I think, making his debut in Stadium Super Trucks. He was in 7th. Charles Dorrance, 8th. Bill Hines, 9th. Kyle LeDuc finishing up in 10th. Eric Davis in 11th. And then Bert Jenner, he was out, DNF, in 12th spot. So big props goes out to EJ Viso for that win at Long Beach. Next up is Detroit, Michigan. They're running a triple header in Detroit, Michigan, the 29th, 30th, and 31st of May. At the Belle Isle Grand Prix, teaming up with IndyCar for that one. So Stadium Super Trucks, they are knee-deep in this championship so far, and, it's been some great racing. I love the mix they got going on this year with some dirt courses, some asphalt. We're going to see some stadium races. It's all good stuff for Stadium Super Trucks. And we are going to take yet one more short commercial break. When we come back, Ami Houde's going to be calling into the show. We're going to be dissecting some Supercross and just talking with Amy. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle. DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, man, it's been a great show today. I promised you 6 interviews, and we got 5 of them in the hopper. David Higgins, Nick Roberts kicked things off. We had Brenten Kelly, Joni Wiman. Now hour number 2, my Rigid Industries teammate, Ashley Kidd. And now we're going to roll right into Ami Houde, and I promise you it's going to be taken up a notch. Always fun when Ami calls into the show and, talks a little Supercross, and you never know what else is going to happen with Ami on air. Man, fun show so far today. Had a lot of fun and lots of events to cover, and, man, we've crammed a lot into 90 minutes so far, 30 minutes left, and we're going to see if we can even raise that bar just another notch. But like you said, this upcoming weekend, man, talk about a ton of events. Supercross, Lucas Oil, Torque, World Rally Championship. We've got Rally America, the Nora 1000. I mean, how many events can you cram into one weekend? It's going to be crazy next week on air. Don't forget, next week will be a Tuesday show here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. It's a couple of big weeks, and some of the guests we got lined up can't divulge and tell you quite yet who those guests are, but they're going to be big. But speaking of guests, Ami Houde, what's happening, Ami?
Hey, how's it going?
Everything is going well with me. You are about 1 week away from D-Day on the teeth, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was actually this week, so I can take a little breather. Like I told you, I'm extremely anxious about it. I can't stop watching, horrifying wisdom teeth videos.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I got next week.
Yeah, you're watching videos of it. That's crazy. Why would you put yourself through that?
I don't know. I just figured, I've watched a couple funny videos, but now I'm really worried. All these people, after they kind of get, gas masks, when they come to, they start, confessing their life stories and stuff. I'm just a little nervous, if my mom comes to pick me up, that I might confess some deep, dark secret or something. So I'm really trying to arrange for one of my friends to take me and bring me home. I don't know.
I've seen some funny YouTube videos with people coming out from under the mask, in the car rides home. Seriously, if you get one of your friends or something to do it, you've got to put a GoPro in the car. I'm not saying put the footage up on the internet, depending on what you say or do, but it would be fun.
I already have it planned out. It's happening. You don't think I've thought of that already? So I'm just worried about what's going to come out because I'm already kind of, no filter, never mind being gassed up and completely delirious. I don't know what I'm going to say, so I'm a little worried.
Yeah, you're either going to be one of those trainers. I don't know. There's like three directions you can go. You can be one of the fighters that just gets angry and wants to fight people. You can be one that confesses absolutely everything that you've ever done in your life, or you could be the one that gets emotional and just cries.
Yeah, I'm either going to be B or C because anytime I drink, sometimes I get pretty emotional where, that's only if I go past my point of no return, and I usually just start confessing everything and, crying and getting all emotional. And also, I confess everything. So, again, that's why I'm a little bit worried for my mom to go with me. So I'm really hoping that my friend Ashley can take me. She might actually even take the day off of work. I even told her, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't want to, start saying something that, all these motocross trips that I go on where, sometimes they end up in crazy shenanigans. I like to keep that stuff on the DL. And, some things you just don't want to tell your mom. So, yeah, I might take my best friend instead of my mom. So.
It would be worth taking the day off of work. If I was up there, I'd take the day off work to take you just because I want to see what you look like when you come out of, Oh, too funny.
I'm worried. I'm honestly more worried about what I'm going to say than the pain. So that just kind of shows you what kind of person I am. I am more worried about the aftermath than the pain. So, oh my gosh, crazy. But I'm really nervous. I have to get all 4 of them out. So I know I'm going to be a big, giant, puffy balloon. And then I have to go to Vegas Supercross. I'm really hoping that it calms down before I got to be on camera for Motorcycle Superstore, or else we're going to have a very nice chipmunk-inspired video. So
yeah, they say the older you get, the worse it is to recover, and I've heard up to 2 weeks for some people. So,
are you kidding?
Yeah. Well, everybody reacts differently.
You're not making me feel any better.
Well, some people it's like a day and they're done. And then other people, it's 10 days. You just never know. I mean, we'll just have to see. It's like I said. Next week we've got a Tuesday show. This happens on a Monday. I'm not counting on you on Tuesday, but it would be entertaining if you called in.
I'm definitely calling in. I don't know what you're gonna get, but I'm calling in.
Well, like I said, it couldn't be any worse than the wake-up call when I called you for the wake-up call that you don't even remember. So,
yeah, no.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get off that topic and talk about some Supercross.
Yeah.
It was an awesome race weekend for sure.
Yeah, we did have Supercross happening of all things, right?
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah, Santa Clara, Supercross. I guess kick things off at 250s. And I got to be honest, I was able to I was out of town. I watched some of the event. I didn't get to see a whole lot of it. I've tried to recap myself as best as I can, but you're going to have to hold it down for us. But I know 250s, Cooper Webb, once again, walked away with it, right?
Yeah, but did you happen to see the 250 start?
Yes, I did see it.
Half of the field was down off the start. So take this into perspective. Cooper Webb was dead last. And he made his way through the whole pack to finish first. And not to mention, so he passes Hansen for the lead, 7 laps to go, in a rhythm section, and fist pumps in the air. It was just ridiculous. That guy is so crazy. But, I have to say Hansen pulled a Hansen, and as soon as Cooper passed him, he pulled off. I honestly wanted to throw my phone at the TV. I couldn't believe it. I started kind of gaining a lot of respect for Hansen this year. I got the chance to actually meet him, and we did a little spiel for the FUCK Cancer Society. And I really started to like him. I'm like, this guy's really cool. Now he's a family man. He's a dad. But he pulled the typical Josh Hansen and couldn't hold it together, and he was in second place. And he pulls off, and then he just kind of rides into the pits, and then when Jenny Taft went over to interview him, he's like, oh, bike problem. And in the background, you see the mechanic kick the bike over in one kick and drive away. Oh, I was so mad. But, yeah. It made for some entertainment, but it was pretty dumb on his part.
Yeah, gets the whole shot. He gets the whole shot, leading the race, gets past. He's in second and pulls off, and he ends up like 20th place or something like that. But
7 laps to go.
Yeah.
Come on, man. They had such a big lead. He could probably have held it together and finished second. I mean, is it really too much for his ego that Cooper passed him? I mean, Cooper's on fire, and Cooper even applauded him on the podium. You know, he's like, oh, I've been riding with some of my longtime heroes and stuff. And, I mean, the guy is just a Joe. Typical Joe. I was very disappointed. If you're listening, I'm disappointed in you. I know a lot of other people are, so no.
Well, there comes a point where you wonder sponsors. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, how much sponsor value did they give away? Did he give away by doing that? Because even running around in second, I mean, those logos are on national TV for how long? Even in second place, you pull off. I mean, how much return on investment did he give away? I mean, sponsors can't be happy.
I mean, again, like I said, it's the typical Josh Hansen. He pulled a Josh Hansen. It's, something people expected from him to happen this year, and it did. So he kind of just burnt his own bridge that was already starting to char away. I mean, he is not a well-respected rider because of some of the shenanigans he's pulled on the track, like things like this. And it's happened in the past, and now, who's going to give a guy a ride when they go and pull things like that? I hate to say it, but there's a lot more deserving people out there who just fight till the end and battle through it and pull off in second place and blame it on the bike. Oh, I was actually so mad. I couldn't believe it. So,
yeah. Well,
no, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, no kidding. Another notable, I got to say, I'm pretty impressed this year. Malcolm Stewart, another fourth-place finish. I mean, he's kind of hit his stride this year. I mean, he's had quietly, he's had a solid year. Obviously, we all know about the win he took earlier, but I'm pretty impressed with Malcolm.
No, Malcolm's coming into his own. It took him a little while, but he's the guy you always see, in a crash. He was part of the first turn pileup. I actually think he was the one who started it. A tough block went and hit him up in the face, and he crashed, and then he caused the multiple rider crash. But no, he's been struggling a little bit. He is an extremely, strong, persistent rider. He's just been finding himself in a lot of bad luck situations this year, and that's really easy to shake. And, next year he's going to come back smarter and stronger, and he'll be able to put it all together. But I definitely can't wait to see him, race outdoors. He's a beast. I mean, he's a big, strong, tough guy. I can't wait to see him even get off the little bike, to be honest. I think he'll be able to manhandle the 450 a lot better, and I think he'll be a really good 450 rider. So I can't wait to see him progress over the years. You have to remember he's kind of a rookie. He hasn't been around that too long. He's always been in the shadows, and you've never really seen him be in the top 10 consistently any other year than right now. So he's coming into his own.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of races to win yet.
Yeah, do you feel like maybe this year, I mean, he's kind of riding with a chip on his shoulder and riding for his brother in a way, just because, James, I don't know, you've heard so many things. You don't know what's true and what's not about that situation, but do you kind of feel like maybe he's riding for his brother?
Oh, definitely. I mean, when he won that race already this year, he was so grateful for his brother, just thanking him for all of his help and support over the years on the podium. And he even said, I'm doing this for my brother. I wish he was here. And it's so cool to see, family racing like that. I mean, you don't see too many brothers in the sports kind of doing the same thing, but I can't wait till the year that they get to actually race against each other. When we get to see the Stewart and Stewart battle, that will be pretty cool. It was awesome to see it in the Red Bull Straight Rhythm race, where they actually were up against each other. But no, it'll be really cool when Malcolm moves to 450s, and hopefully James will be back. And, hopefully he won't have hung his boots up, but I do think there'll be many years of racing for James yet. But that will definitely be interesting. I cannot wait to see that. So, I mean, we have the Martins, but obviously Jeremy is a lot faster than Alex. But, it's going to be a really close bet now for Malcolm and James. Malcolm's only going to get faster. Yeah,
well, and James, I mean, that's a story in itself, but I think whenever this ban is lifted, I think it's after motocross this year, right? I don't know at this point. I think it's for pretty much his calendar year.
I know.
But, I'm sure he'll do some Red Bull Straight Rhythm because that's an unsanctioned type of thing. But I think him going next year, I mean, he's been training like crazy this, I say off season. I mean, this season, I mean, he's staying on a bike. He's, he's keeping his, his fitness up. I think next year with a year off to rest, I mean, I think he's definitely a favorite to take home a championship.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, again, we had talked about this before, whether he, you know, is going to be able to be on the same level of all these guys who are riding against each other. And, you know, kind of once you have a feel for the competition, you're really able to kind of train based on their level. You know, I said when I show up at a track where I'm not comfortable with the other racers, I don't really know where to place myself or, you know, how much I got to give and how much I don't have to give. But when you're riding with the same group of people all year, all season, all Supercross season, you kind of know a little bit of what to expect come outdoors or, you know, come the next race. So it might be a disadvantage or, you know, he might be riding with that chip on his shoulder and basically out to kill. So it'd be really interesting. I can't wait to see, but yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. But really, is it after, he has to wait until after motocross? That's crazy.
And I can't remember, is Monster Energy Cup, is that unsanctioned?
I'm not even too sure.
Because if it's not AMA sanctioned, I think he can run Monster Energy Cup. It would be something like Red Bull Straight Rhythm, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of a one-off.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that because I'd actually like to know. So I'm going to look into that this week. I got some homework. I'll let you know next week.
Yeah. Now, here's a question. Talking about 450s, the big news last week, obviously we know the champ.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Davey, what the heck happened there?
Can't exactly say because obviously all that kind of information is really personal information, but he was let go from the factory Kawasaki team. I mean, that's all I can say. It's unfortunate things have to happen like that, but it was a instant cutoff, pack your bags, see you later, and we're going to have to see what's next for Davey Millsap. But
well, it was big enough that...
Something serious, obviously.
Yeah, well, it's big enough. They just said, "No, we're done." They just walked away from the last few rounds. I mean, that's you know, most teams had cut him and throw another rider on the bike. I mean, you know, God knows there's enough 250 guys floating around that, you know, they could throw somebody on the bike. But I just wow. I mean, you know, to cut him and then just pretty much say, "No, we're done until motocross." Yeah.
No, I mean, you always hear things at the track and through the grapevine, but you know, when it's personal information and you know, I rather people find out, you know, from the horse's mouth itself. It's never good to kind of speculate and he said, she said. It's you know, it's obviously something serious. What it may be, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, I've heard many different things, but you know, maybe the truth will come out one day. Maybe there'll be a press release, or you know, maybe it's a personal situation that Dangerous are never going to bring up. We don't know, and that's the thing about racing is a lot of these inside deals, you know, it stays on the inside. But it does kind of suck because when people don't say what happened, you know, or the reason behind it, there's so much speculation and there's so much rumors and drama, and you know, people are talking left and right, and no one really knows the truth. But I don't even know what else to say about that. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, 3 rounds to go. Obviously something very serious. So.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with you. I mean, truth generally always comes out. It may be 6 months to a year down the road, but it'll come out sooner or later, you know, and I agree with you. You know, we have absolutely no idea because I've heard rumors just like you have. So at this point, you know, you just kind of let it lay, and I'm just disappointed that we don't see, you know, that team running the last couple of rounds, especially being that they're Monster Energy, you know, sponsored, and this is Monster Energy Supercross.
You think they would pick up someone else? I mean, there's a huge field of other riders who, you know, would be more than appreciative to even have that ride for one round. I mean, they should give someone else the chance and the opportunity. I think it's a kind of a selfish deal, but no, I definitely don't think they handled it the best that they could. I really do think they should have, you know, brought someone on board for the last 3 rounds. It would have meant a lot to one lucky rider.
Yeah. So what happens for outdoors with that team? What do you think?
I have no idea. That's such an up and down team. I mean, this year they went from being the top guys to beat last year to basically having nobody running in their pack.
Yeah.
I think the only person really holding it down for Kawasaki is Adam Cincerello. So hopefully he stays healthy and, you know, he can pull off a championship outdoors or something, because they need something to kind of reclaim that top spot. They lost Villapoto. Now they got nobody.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely a lot of storylines heading into Las Vegas, and then really into outdoors. I mean, it's been wild, but Dungey, I mean, did it again. Tomac second, Pike. I give that guy props,
look
man.
at Pike.
He's had a hell of a year.
Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah.
And he was strong all weekend. I mean, he had a great qualifying time, and then even in the heat races, him and Dungey. You have to think about it. I mean, Dungey is this well-bred, everything handed to him rider with lots of pedigree. And I mean, I knew Dungey when he was 10, 12 years old, and he always had factory bikes and the best of everything. And there's, this Weston Pike kind of guy underground. Not too many people knew about him until, a year ago, and he's up there battling with the champ. I think, it was like 2 laps to go and Ryan passed him, but it just, Weston is amazing, and he has so much to offer, and I can see Weston winning championships next year. Yeah. Hands down, if he can pull it all together for Supercross next year, he will be a threat, definitely. I mean, and I'd really like to see him outdoors. He's one of the, strongest, toughest guys out there, and outdoors is the gnarliest sport ever, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, and you were talking about earlier, give a guy a chance to see how they do. I think Weston's, proof right there. I mean, he finally got a break, and you know what? He's running with it, man. His guy is, I think, like you said, I mean, outdoors next year. I mean, I think he's hit his stride. He's definitely going to be one of the players, in the championship for years to come.
And he's hurt. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, he's not at his best physical condition right now. I've talked to, his mechanic. My friend actually dates his mechanic, but even, word on the street is he's not in the best physical condition, opposed to Ryan Dungey, who, I mean, all that guy does is train 24 hours a day when he's not riding or racing. Get Weston on the same playing field as, Ryan, and I think you have just, a hidden threat. The guy is going to be unbeatable one day. I really hope he stays healthy.
Yeah. Well, and I got to give a big shout to Kyle Partridge. We had him on air, what was it, a couple months back. You got a hold of him and got him to call into the show, and he 13th finish. I mean, this is an independent, and he's he's grinding it out, but a solid finish for him. I mean, anytime.
Yeah, he had a great heat race too.
Yeah. So
But did you happen to see his wheelie off the start? He got hung up on the gate and almost Superman nosedived over it. And they replayed it at the very end of the race, but I think he got like the very last gate pick all the way on the outside left, and his gate didn't go down in time, and it kind of like half went down, or he hit the gate. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, he almost lost it. He almost cartwheeled over his bike.
Yeah.
Poor Kyle.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you expect out of these next couple of rounds? I mean, obviously Vegas, that's the big one. We've got the East-West shootout we've talked about before. I mean, you think anything's going to change the next round or two? I mean, what do we got? New Jersey, Vegas, and do we have one other one? I'm going to have to look up. I should know this, but
I'm going to call it right now. After this weekend, before this weekend, I wasn't really too sure how it was going to play out. But after seeing Cooper's ride this weekend, coming from the back of the pack and winning, which is absolutely insane. I mean, dead last, first corner pile up to winning the main event. I think that I'm going to bet money right now. I'm going to put it all on the line. In the East-West shootout, Cooper is going to be superior over Marvin Musquin. Hands down, I can see it now. I mean, they're both really similar riders. They're both extremely consistent, but Marvin doesn't take as many chances as Cooper. And if Marvin, doesn't get as good of a start, he has a little bit of a struggle getting through the pack, unlike Cooper, who just pedals to the metal, head down, and is out in first place like 4 laps later. I honestly think that Cooper is going to take it in Vegas.
Yeah, I think I'm out of, we got New Jersey, we got Vegas left. Out of everything, I think I'm most excited to see Cooper versus Marvin out of anything for the next 2 rounds. 450s, 250s, I think that's the story right there. Who's better, Cooper or Marvin? It's bragging rights, man.
Yeah, they're two very different riders. I mean, Marvin is very cool, calm, collected, smart. I mean, extremely, extremely smooth. But Cooper puts it all on the line. And, when you're coming down to a head-to-head battle, the person who's going to take that chance and put it all on the line is going to be superior. And that's what Cooper is, and that's the type of rider he is. He just no holds barred, just he givers, and it's really, really cool to see. He's extremely aggressive, and he wants to win. It's so bad. So you can really see that in his riding. And, I mean, being able to get to the pack as quickly as he does is a really good skill. So, yep, I put all my money on him.
Yep.
And I think Ryan Dungey also is going to clean up for the next couple of rounds. I think he's, extremely confident, and he's got it all put together. So, yep. He's my pick for the next couple ones as well.
Yeah, he's Ryan Dungey. It's just he's going to break records at this point. I think that's all he's.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
But I hear Roxon is going to be back for the monster for the last round.
Okay.
I believe he's going to be coming back because I heard him. He was talking with Ralph Shaheen, and he mentioned that he will be back for the last round in Vegas. Okay. So that's good. I really want someone at least to challenge Dungey a little bit. So. Well,
he's got nothing to lose at that point, so he's going to. I mean, he's going, all out. He's going for broke. So, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's happening with you? What do you got going the next couple of weeks? Obviously, getting some teeth yanked. You're going to Vegas. Anything else?
Well, the Jets are in the playoffs, so our hockey team is in the playoffs. They kind of sucked the first two ones, but we have a game tonight. So we're hoping it's going to be a Winnipeg Jet whiteout. I'm not a big hockey fan, so I'm just kind of pulling that out of my butt right there.
I was going to say, I've known you for how long now, and you've never once mentioned hockey until this point?
I don't like hockey, okay? Whatever.
You're like the only person in Canada that doesn't like hockey.
I know. Seriously, I have to, lie all the time. And people are like, oh, my God, it's the Jets. I'm like, yeah, woo. No, not at all. I mean, it's extreme sports. People want to compare hockey to motocross and be like, you guys ain't got no idea. You try cartwheeling a 200-pound piece of metal and then having it land on you and, having to pick it up and finish the race after. So they ain't got no idea what we have to do it. But it's actually snowing here right now. So we went from 20 degrees Celsius to snow in a matter of 2 days. So I have no idea what's going on here. This is why it's called Winnipeg, because we just really have two seasons. We have summer and winter. So right now I'm literally looking at a pile of snow, and I'm really depressed. Yep. So I think my bike might be parked for the next couple of days. It's what can I say? This is Canada.
It's a buzzkill. You guys finally get the tracks open and everybody pumped, and then, we're going to shut them back down.
Well, we actually we opened beginning of April, which is pretty darn early. We don't normally open till the end of April, beginning of May. So I just think they teased us a little bit. Mother Nature just wanted to play with our heartstrings and, then break mine now that I'm all ready to ride. I'm all set up, ready to go. So, next week I do have a race in Minnesota, so I'm hoping to get down south and do a little bit of racing. I love riding. I mean, riding's fun and everything, but I'm more of a racer. I really like to compete. I like to try and win, and I find I'm a better racer. Some people are better practicers, and some people are better racers. So when I always go out practicing, I'm always putting around. I'm like, hey, this is boring. What now? But when I'm in race mode, I always find that I perform my best. So I like to race more than I like to practice.
For sure. Well, I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, cool.
But I know some people, they freak out when it's race day. And they just, they kill it. They're 5 times faster when they're practicing, and they show up for races, and they're just terrible. So, I guess definitely that is in my favor.
Well, I know a ton of people that way. I mean, they literally, you turn into a freaking zombie on race morning, and they're vomiting and nervous, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, running back and forth to the bathroom. I'm like, what's the matter with you? And they're like, it's a race day. And I'm like, they're like, you don't get nervous? I'm like, nah, it's just another day.
But I'm like, why are you doing this then if you're throwing up and you have extreme anxiety? I'm like, I don't think this is the sport for you because it looks like you're having a terrible time when this is supposed to be fun and you're, behind a bush puking all day.
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious. But,
yeah, for sure.
Stay
Yep. We got to wind things up, but appreciate you taking the time to call in, and we'll definitely catch up with you next week. Maybe entertaining, may not. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, already see what happens. That's for sure. It just depends on the pain medication level. I gotta up a dose to get on there, so I'm just happy and not whining about it. So I have no idea what to expect. I just think I should watch a couple more videos.
Yeah, I've got my wisdom teeth, so I got nothing for you. I haven't had them yanked, and probably won't.
Oh.
So.
Alrighty, well, you have a good day, and hopefully next time I talk to you, the snow will be gone.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Amy.
Hope for me. Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, that was Ami Houde calling in, talking a little Supercross, and getting her teeth yanked next week. Definitely looking forward to next Monday's show. It's going to be entertaining to say the least, one way or another, with Ami Houde. Always fun, and she's become a good friend of mine, and stoked to have her calling in and talking with us every week for 30 minutes, some Supercross and whatever else. But upcoming events, obviously Supercross, Lucas, Torque, Stadium Super Trucks, World Rally Championship, Rally America Oregon Trail Rally, Silver State 300 for Best in the Desert, Nora 1000. It's just craziness going on right now. I got to give a big shout out to Polaris RZR, General Tire, Rigid Industries, DirtFish Rally School, UPR.com, Florida Resort and Casino, Wakeboard Island, Jmar Performance Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and Intense Tees. Also, Joni, Brenten, Nick, David, Amy, Ashley. Man, big show today. Thanks to all of you for helping, for tuning in, and like you do each and every week here at the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Give us a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownandDirtyShow or DownandDirtyShow.com. For all those back episodes. You can also get our app available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. Just search Down and Dirty Radio Show. It'll pull right up. Don't forget, next week, it's a Tuesday show. I will be at Oregon Trail Rally doing Rally America Radio, so tune into that this weekend, but it's a Tuesday show next week. And we for sure have an interview with Chip Ganassi. That's huge, and hoping to have a couple of blockbuster announcements as far as guests for next week or the following week. So definitely hang tight. It's going to be a great show next week and the following week, but next week, don't forget, it is Tuesday. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Thanks to all the guests, and don't forget, if you got any ideas, questions, comments, you love me, you hate me, tweet me at JimBeaver15. Love to hear from you. And we'll see you at Oregon Trail Rally, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts this weekend with Rally America Radio. As always, have a great week, and game on.